Hello there, my dear friends and fellas. How are you all doing? I hope you are doing fantastic. It's me, Werty, and today you are looking at this beautiful, very well used and abused desk that I have because I have something to show you all. And stuff are already falling off. So, do you remember when about 3 months ago I have showed you those labels of the extra matches and the Soviet Sibir matches and stuff that I made? So I've made a handful more. What is my life? Quarantine is hard, everybody. So, this is a very unique thing about all of them. Now, this one is an exception because after some research, I thought everybody here are supposed to be from the 30s, 40s, between the Great Depression, the end of the 20s, beginning of the 30s of the 20th century, up until post-World War II. This is the idea. Now, this one, the Bluebell one, apparently is from the 60s, 70s. So, that one was a mistake, so we are gonna discard that one. And it accidentally fell into the trash. So, we will discard it. So, let's see about all of those. So, the Soviet ones, we have already went through. So, we're not gonna talk about them. Now, here I have British and American. We'll start with, I know it's Hebrew. Listen. We'll start with the American first. So we have here three types of matchboxes that were used between the Great Depression up until 1946. First one is winner safety matches. Originally it had only one label, so it has the same label on both sides. Why? Because originally this box has two different sizes and I don't remember what was on there originally. So in order to cover those two. Also, as you can see, it was barely used before I took it several years ago. So yeah, the box itself is empty right now because the actual matches are elsewhere. This one is diamond matches, domino safety matches. From the research that I've done, they were very common during the 30s, 40s period of time. According to the blogs of Matchbox collectors, who collect the real things, not the reproductions, of course, obviously. And there it says that it was around the 30s and the 40s. It was in production. Made in the USA. This one, I took the original picture of the thing and redid it using some Microsoft Paint, basically. But I like how it looks like. Everything was overdrawn. So it might not be the best, but it's the best as it's gonna get. This type of matches, the green hat matches, are Great Depression ones and were used from the research that I did. There were actually three types of this cover. This one in particular is 1940s one. The earliest one was made in Finland and is from the 30s. This one was made during the 40s, and then after the war, I think they have returned the production to Finland, or started to buy from them, and they added a new outpost for those. Originally, they started in Chicago. After the war, they were in Chicago and I believe New York, if I remember correctly. Now, what is very unique about this type is, as it says on the back here, it is made an exclusive supply to hotels, restaurants, hospitals, clubs, and institutions, meaning that soldiers during World War II would most likely get this one if they were injured. So, for example, you're an American soldier, injured, resting in your hospital and stuff like that, or you're visiting your friend, and you ran out of matches. happens. You wanna smoke one real quick, so you get to your canteen there or whatever, and you get this one because this is the only one they sell there. So yeah, those are the American ones. Let's move to the British ones. I say British ones, it's mainly the Great Britain and Commonwealth. So, this one is made in Australia. I accidentally forgot the word by here, so it's like made with what? I forgot the word by. When I reprint those again, I will add this word, obviously. This particular one from a Matchbox museum in, I believe, Sydney, or anywhere else in Australia, this particular matchbox, the military canteen safety matches, they were sold on the Oceania campaign, where the Philippines, Indonesia, all of that area, between 1942 to 1945, so mid to late war. And because and it was basically in the Australian canteens, made in Australia. Like safe matches, they are sacred, blah blah blah. Well, it's not blah blah blah, but yeah. Anyway, what I reckon from countless of photographs and videos documenting that theater, that war theater, Australians and American soldiers have fought together. So I reckon also American soldiers who fought in the Philippines, Dutch East Indies, modern Indonesia, and so on, in the entire Oceania, or Oceania, or however you say it, they most likely came across this and maybe even used them when their envelope matches that come usually with rations and stuff, when they ran out. So they used those. Very legit, You smoke more than the matches included in your rations. Let's talk about the Middle East or the North African campaign. This one is made in the Levant, made in Palestine, no longer exists. Basically, it says the best flame you'll ever make, or something like that. A lot of soldiers. It was produced in what is today Israel, but it was sold in the entire region because Arabic letters and stuff, and those ones specifically were produced during the war itself. Those ones were earlier, but we are gonna talk about them later. Now, if you are portraying a soldier fighting in the North African campaign, there is a higher chance that you would get something like this, because this is the common matchbox that you have around. This one, they had only one label, however, this is a modern matchbox, so it has a duplicate. Let's talk about this one. This one is very, very unique, because this one is Noor Company in Akko, Land of Israel, or in their English version, Akko, Palestine. A company for making matches. No. What is funny about it, it's actually exists. This is their 2006 logo. Nowadays they belong to Sweden. The Swedish matches company bought them in the 30s or something like that. And since then they are belong to the Swedes. Anyway, so those ones, they would be more common among people who are serving either in the Palestine colony or in the Jewish brigade. That was we're not gonna go into that one. Only 6,000 people, 60,000. Sorry, only 60,000 people have served in that brigade. Well, it's a brigade after all. Anyway, so all in those most likely will have them. Also, people who are stationed there. The main reason why I made this is because it was funny to see that I have an actual box from this company and I'm using their old label on it. Basically, what is underneath the label is the statements: safety matches, stay away from kids, blah blah blah. Those ones is the Captain Webb safety matches, British made. Now, the uniqueness about this type of label is, unlike the others, that even here you have like two different sides. This one has three sides. Along this one and this one, you have also the side one that says the company name, where it is made, although it's ridiculously faded, but I mean also the original, I'm pretty sure it was ridiculously faded. Although you could actually technically cut them off and stick it differently. I've decided to do it like this, which is fine. The British ones that were made in mainland Britain, or the British Isles, they were like one continuous label and only one strike inside. Now, this one in particular, they had like 3 or 4 types of Captain Web. This one is, I believe, the 1930s variant. The other variants of Captain Web are from the 60s and 70s. So I've decided to use this one. I've taken that information from a museum in, I believe, London, or somewhere else in the British Isle, in Britain, in the United Kingdom, or whatever else you would call that place. So yeah. Those are all the matchboxes that I have. Sadly, because of the Lerona going on, I can't really open any shop to sell those. I don't have the money, I don't have the funds, and our how you call it? The postal service is garbage. However, I have multiple duplicates in this beautiful box, and also some that I plan to sell on an early thing, including some that would be like special ones. Like you have a chance in the early send to also have another extra one that is printed on a different paper on cardstock, in order to see which one you like the most. Basically, it has all of those. It is, written in Hebrew because I'm a Hebrew speaker. All the different ones. All of those are, let me get it. All of those are like almost 200. Almost 200. About 10, if I remember correctly, 10 or 11 pieces of the 11 variants of this one. This side is the same, but the back side is different. Now, as I said, the only reason why I did it that way is because that side is the 30s variant. This one is the message that replaced that one during the Second World War from 1941 and onwards. Delayed period of 1941, mainly 1942. Different colors, different prints, as you can see, including stuff about the women's, About the green hat, right now I might do the earlier version when it was made in Finland, but only distribute to Chicago, which is the earliest one. I might do some of them and mainly focus on this one because this is the one that was mostly common used during the war itself, because the United States cut all relationships in, I believe, in the mid 1941, cut all relationships with Finland, and only 1945, I believe, they have renounced or whatever their relationships again, because of the continuation war, blah blah blah. This is a paper. I'm not gonna show you what is on the other side. It's some information for myself, for how much I want to sell them, etc, etc. As you can see, I have a lot. All of them are printed. I've printed the yellow ones are mainly for the USSR, because during that time they had a very huge paper shortage. So, and the paper they had, it was recycled and low quality. So I'm using Czech paper here, Czech drawing paper that I have randomly. And for the other labels, I'm gonna use drawing paper, sketch paper, that is largely available in Israel. I tried to get a hold on the Czech paper, but sadly, as far as I'm aware, they don't sell outside of the UN, so... UN? I mean, outside of the European Union, the EU. I mixed those two together. So yeah, this is where I keep my beauties. usually locked. I'm not gonna do it right now. So yeah, those are my matchboxes. Again, I was aloof with this one. I thought this one is the earliest one because it looked like the Great Depression version, but then I saw that it has the how many pounds it costs, and only in the 60s they started to implement those things. So yeah, that was an oopsie on my side. So yeah, this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry for the rambling. As you know, I'm usually not really editing those videos because I'm lazy. So, hope you have a great one and you enjoyed. If you want to see me how I actually apply to one Matchbox and stuff, let me know in the comments and I'll do a shorter video about the instructions, how to apply those labels on the matches. That's it from me from today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!